Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, HaKakodash. That belongs to our apostles, the bishops, the elders of the great millstone. Greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you, elect. Brother Shabbat from Las Vegas Church. I just want to do a quick video on here. I'd rather go live and just do kind of a ride and talk. Try to keep this page active with that every once in a while. Then we want to go into life leaven. Okay? We know we're in that time again. And it's important that we're aware of the leaven that's in our life. And this is the season, okay, of removing leaven out of your house. So I want to correlate a couple of things as I say it. I want you to keep in mind, not only is it the time of the Passover, it's also the time that of the Passover in the sense of we're about to get out of ancient Egypt. Okay? So time to remove that leaven fully out. Not just symbolically as a commemoration of the ancient Passover, but as symbolically, or even Yahushai, but as this new deliverance out of modern Egypt. Okay? And this time we have to remove the leaven out of our life. We have to remove the bad habits out of our life. Okay, the things the scripture says, forgive me, you can post them in the chat or in the comments or whatever, but the scripture came to mind. Find out what is evil for thy life and give thyself not unto it. It's in the Apocrypha. All right, buddy. Damn, you late. Bro, it says running late. That's crazy. I should have showed that. This guy's driving dangerously. But it's things like that. If you find something that can be used as life leaven, is being late all the time. Okay, that's coming from somebody it's not that I'm late, but I'm slow, which makes me late. Apparently, so something like that could be a leaven within your life. So trying to correct and change those things. When the scriptures say get your house in order, that's part of what we're talking about. Tighten up and stay locked in. Okay, locked into the spirit. Okay, so be aware of discerning certain situations. Don't bring things into your life that can create bad situations for you. Okay, and being aware of where this is going. Okay, if I buy this, I don't know, if I buy this new car, what kind of energy is that going to change in my life, in my house, on my neighborhood, in my street? Can I better, not to say don't take care of yourself and get yourself nice and new things. That's not what we're saying. Simply consider, is it for the purpose that you need it for? Like to buy, this is just my thoughts, just as an example. Why would I buy a Lamborghini right now? Even if they had an amazing deal on it, why would I buy that if it doesn't suit my life faith moving forward needs? Then it doesn't make sense. Just because it's nice, no, it doesn't make sense. Now, if you bought it to flip it and resell it, and that's part of your business or your hustle, then that's something else. But you can get the experience and drive that's something else. But trying to set yourself up for things that are going to be beneficial to you. Walk, because this walk that we're coming into now, we see that the gas prices are going crazy. We see that the moral standing, I guess you can say, of the people is decaying, is getting worse and worse. All right, people in that I don't give a F right now. People are in that mode, and they're not there yet. They're just, the frustration is mounting where the grunting and groaning is happening. These are still the birth pains according to the scriptures. Okay, these are still birth pains. But as this gets closer and closer, those birth pains, and for this is a joke, but it's also a reality of a joke, right? When you're say you have children and your woman is going through labor, or, going through the whole pregnancy situation, okay? Everybody's happy the first few days. We're about to have a new life, a bundle of joy. And then as time goes on and the pains, and you guys are making adjustments, start getting uncomfortable. Clothes stop fitting the same way. The same lifestyle you had before don't fit. So things are changing. So as you get closer and closer, the woman gets bigger and bigger, and her frustration begins to mount. Hormones are all over the place. Eating is out of control. It's more impulsive. Okay? So you got to consider using that same analogy and scenario as the times we're coming into, as the scriptures used it in the sense of pregnancy and labor. Okay? The closer and closer we get to the end of this thing, the more uncomfortable we're going to be, the more what's the word? What's the word I want to use? One of them's diligent, but the more discipline. The more disciplined we're going to have to be on every facet. Okay? Gas prices is out of control. It's ironic, I'm out driving. But gas prices is out of control, and it's going to get further out of control. That means you got to be disciplined to know, okay, I can only go to these certain spots, only take care of these certain situations. If I can do it electronically or on the internet, let me knock that out that way. If I can, delivery's going to cost more, so it's not like you can call Uber to come deliver or Instacart or somebody to come drop your stuff off, because the price is going to get moved into that. Okay, so there's no real escape. But my point is, the discipline. I notice brothers talk about this here in Vegas from time to time, particularly some of us elder brothers in the camp. We notice that our pantry, as far as when it comes around to remove the leaven out of our house, it gets thinner and thinner. We just don't have we just don't eat all the same stuff we used to. You look at certain things, like I go to the grocery store, I think the image I'm gonna put up in this, that may even be on there now, I just go in there and I go to the frozen section. I don't necessarily buy that, but I think of ideas in the frozen section. Let me get some ideas of what I can make naturally at the house. Okay, what is this, potato pancakes? Okay, well, let me see what they put. They put carrot, they put celery, they put onion, they put, of course, potatoes. There's dairy, butter to get it, Okay, so then, or you go online and find recipes, but you find a way to do it more cost effective. Okay, getting out of the quick rush microwave eating type thing. Try not to eat so many foods that contain chemicals and triglycerides and all. Forgive me for not knowing exactly what that is and to quote it, but when they got the long list in the ingredients, you might want to reconsider that, because you go from there and you go to the healthy organic stuff, and it's a smaller list of ingredients, but the price is higher. So let me go get this sack of potatoes, let me go, and so on and so forth, finding other ways to spend your time versus that. And then even consuming, I always bring this up when I do these type of videos. I like to do inner man videos where you're working on your inner self. But this is what the life leaven is about. Removing those things out of your life to where you just don't need them. A coworker asked me, hey man, you ain't been watching such and such, some TV show? I'm like, man, I don't know about none of that. Nor do, and I was trying not to be a straight asshole and unrelatable, but hey, at the same time, I don't watch none of that stuff. I'm more careful. I can't tell them, hey man, the only time I got time to watch TV is when I watch the apostles, or when I watch the elder brothers of certain, camp videos. I really don't take the time to sit down and just watch TV shows. And brothers get on me a little bit. They're like, man, you ain't seen this? You ain't watched Snowfall yet? You ain't seen Last Kingdom? You ain't? Like, bro, my bad. You ain't, and I missed out on a bunch of them. Now, I try to go back every once in a while and catch some of it, but it takes a lot of time. And for somebody that moves in a different rhythm or speed than the average person, hey, you gotta factor those things in. Okay, so I'm saying all of this simply to say, when you're doing certain things, you gotta be careful that it's not full of leaven, things that'll catch you up later. Okay? I bring up relationships. You know, if you're single, you know, being with somebody that's going to create a negative impact on your life, on your spiritual life more so. Okay? You got to bring up diet. We're always on diet here at Great Millstone. We're always on what you're putting in your body, what kind of exercise you get. You know, if you're not sleeping well, hey, look at what you're putting in your body. Look at what you're getting out of your body. Okay? If you're consuming soda and lots of TV, I wonder why. You know, those types of fast food, drive-through all the time. You know, if you're doing those things, you got this is the season where, hey, we see all kinds of food recalls, different things. Okay, the scriptures say the storehouses shall be empty. Y'all just both gonna cut me off like that. Every time I get on here, man, it's probably best I don't do these videos too often. Behind the wheel, these cars be out here tripping. It seems like they know I'm on camera in here, so it gets far worse. Anyway, yeah. So removing certain things out of your life, okay, and then this is the season where it ain't just for the week of the Passover. It's just in general. Now these things need to come out. Like, you know, we used to, you know, we're in Vegas. We used to go out a little bit. You know, we might even go to a little bar or a club or something. That happens less and less, and now we pretty much don't do it. We pretty much don't even get down like that. All right. Appreciate you, boss. You see. But yeah. All right. Removing certain things and not really letting it come back in. You don't walk off like that, oh, buddy. I gotta go. Sorry. That was me that time. I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. Because this is that season, and sometimes, like Brother's been saying, and Brother's been saying this for years even. One mistake can cost you everything. Okay. One misstep could truly cost you in this thing. This is where we're at. Okay. Putting yourself, you know, one night at the club, and all of a sudden, you know, you going through something at the, you know, in the house with your woman or whatever the case may be, at work and your job. You just want to get out and kind of just let it all hang out, and it ended up happening just like that. Now you done made a worse scenario for yourself. Okay, some men, I'll say it this way, some men look for comfort from the world. Let me go out, let me get out there and go dance and, you know, have a good time. Sometimes that's not the good time you need. Sometimes that good time could become leaven. And I noticed, and I think I've said this in a video before, leaven is mostly, if you look at it, it's like comfort food. Okay? It's almost sensual. Like, you know, biting into bread has a certain feeling to it, and it fills your body, you know, in your stomach a certain way, and the foods that have it in it. Okay? It hits certain sensory points, right? Well, we got to be ready for the grind. Okay? I heard a few years back, Jake was like, yeah, well, whatever, I'm gonna go to the forest, and I'm gonna eat off the land in the forest. Yeah, you may have been a Boy Scout, but you don't know how to really eat off the land. You don't know how long it's gonna take you to hunt wild boar, even though we ain't supposed to be eating that, right? This was somebody in the world saying it. I'm gonna hunt wild boar, nigga. You are not Rambo. Okay? You don't know which berries to eat in the forest. You don't know which leaves are poisonous or not. Okay? Because you're catching all the seasons of, you know, of whatever TV show you're into. You know, you don't miss a Sopranos episode. You don't miss slide about the way out y'all way over here. On the left. There, the wrong way. Anyway, you know. So, how we use our time, if we're mismanaging our time, which I'm of course speaking of myself first and foremost, okay, can be leaven. Okay, so tightening that up. All right, there's certain things in our life we can tighten up. Okay, no more dessert. okay, cut that off. I need to get my body in shape. Let me put my body through something. Okay, things of pleasure might be considered leaven. All right, it's not just for the Passover season, because what are we hoping for in this season of time? Not just doing the commemoration of it, but the season itself. And this is almost like the Passover. This is pretty much when the plagues of Egypt were beginning. Okay, and now there's the only ones that are in Goshen, okay, are the elect. And even still, we still got to go to work every day in Egypt. And I'm just using this as an analogy, okay, because we still have to withstand these curses. We still have to withstand these plagues. Okay, we're not guaranteed to just be, oh, it's bright and sunny over here, but it's all effed up over there. We got to go through it with the people, and our faith is what's going to get us through these things. Okay, and our faith comes from saying, you know what, I'm not going to take comfort in these other situations. I'm going to take comfort in what the Lord said. I'm going to take comfort in doing what the Lord's will is. I'm going to take comfort in the scriptures, in prophecy. Okay, so these are the things we got to look for and look forward to and set up our lives for. And a lot of it comes with removing life leaven. Okay, not just taking the bread and the tortillas and the ingredients in your soups and your gravies and all of that. You might want to start living life without gravy. Okay, you might want to, I just go to the bar. You might want to stop going to the bar. I'm just throwing things out there, not to say you can't have a good time. You might want to really limit how much you eat outside the house. You might want to limit what you eat. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong, variety is the spice of life. And we, being Jake, we like variety. You want this one day, you want that one day, you want something totally different in a whole other realm another day. A whole nother flavor. Well, there's a comfort in that, but can you really eat the same food every day? For how long? The same Jake was talking about he was going to eat plants and leaves. I'm like, bro, you don't know how, your body ain't set up to eat plants and leaves. Or I'm going to just buy a big bag, about a 50-pound bag of rice, and I'm going to eat that every day. If what you're saying is going to happen. I said, really? So you just going to eat rice every day? And the truth of the matter is, yeah, it's food, and it's not a bad idea. But can you mentally deal with that every day? Okay? So those are some of the things when I bring up life leaven that I'm talking about. The ability to deny certain things and to remove certain things out of your life. It may not just be yeast or leaven, like, oh, I'm going to stop drinking beer. You might just want to stop drinking, and only drink on occasion. So it's certain situations like that you really got to look at yourself, like I was quoted when I first started. Find out what is evil for thy life and give thyself not unto it. Okay? And remove those things from your life, because all things are lawful, but not all things expedient, especially in the time we're coming into. It's not all things are expedient for all men in all times. Okay, these are access points for demons and Satan to try to find a way in. That's what the leaven truly is. Okay, just an access point for a demon to try to find a way to, because Satan has desired to sift you, right? And another one, the one I was really thinking was in Peter, when it says, as a roaring lion, the devil seeketh whom he may devour. Okay, and nobody more precious to sift or to devour than one of the elect. Okay, and it may not take you out, but why put extra hell on yourself? Okay, some of it we're destined to go through, but some of it is just a lesson that, hey, learn this so you don't have to deal with those types of pitfalls. Okay, how long are we going to fall for the same old pitfalls? Okay, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about life leaven, removing those types of things out of our life. All right? And that goes first and foremost for myself. Okay? And that's a message that I like to push to whoever catches this video. But it's important. Okay? Not just for the week of the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, but find those things that really can just be removed out of your life permanently. Okay? Give yourself not unto those things. If you like harlots, hey, it's nothing lawful about dealing with a harlot, if you know. But in these times where, you know, all my extra, I'm just saying this in this way, all my extra harlot money, I got to put in the gas tank now. You know, all my extra beer money or my yaya money, I got to start putting, I got to cut back on that and put it into the gas tank or into the, you know, to the grocery list. Okay? So finding those situations like that, okay? And trying to make yourself better as a better vessel that the Spirit can flow through. Okay? We're in the last days, and it's a lot going to happen. A lot of dreams, a lot of visions, a lot of prophesying. Okay? A lot of the miracles, a lot of these things are gonna, you know, we're coming into the season of that. Not just this year, but into the time of life. At the end of this thing, this is what's going to be going down in the Spirit. So I just want to put that out there, that life leaven can be very detrimental. It may not be a bad thing today, but if you allow it to build up to where it takes precedence in your life, okay, it can bite you in the ass later on down the line. If you're not willing, you know, I'll quote the line from the movie Heat. You're not ready to walk away from certain things in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat coming around the corner. If you got to make a choice between something for you and something that's going to better you, you know, something for you personally or for your flesh versus something for the Spirit or for other Akim or sacrificing for your children or whatever, you got to really consider those things and already start allocating away from it. Okay, let me take that time and energy and money and start putting it into something more. Hey, all my extra yaya money, all my extra cupcake money or whatever, you know, extra date nights that my wife and I like to go on, all that's going to have to start being, I need to go save it up on some silver, invested in stuff like that. So just trying to consider what this is and where we're at, and then, you know, moving accordingly from there. So I'm headed there. I'm at my destination anyway. So Lord willing, is edifying, and give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Ba'ashim Rachakodash. They belong to our apostles, the elders, and the bishops of the great millstone. Greetings, salutations, blessings, much love unto you elect. I missed some comments. Shalom unto y'all. Lord willing, this is edifying until the next one. Shalom.